Every gardener dreams of baskets overflowing with flawless tomatoes, crisp carrots, lush heads of lettuce, and towering stalks of corn. But here's the reality check. No matter how much care you put into watering, mulching, or protecting your crops, if your soil isn't prepared properly, these plants will never live up to their potential. The truth is simple, yet often overlooked. The soil is the engine that drives growth, and some crops are more demanding than others. They won't tolerate poor preparation, compacted ground, or missing nutrients. They will punish shortcuts with stunted roots, yellowing leaves, or yields so small that all your effort feels wasted. That's why this guide is so important. Today we're going to dig into 5 of the most popular garden crops that absolutely require specific soil preparation before planting. These are not casual growers. They are heavy feeders, root-sensitive, or moisture-dependent crops that reveal every weakness in your soil. But when you get the soil right, they explode with growth and reward you many times over. This isn't just about planting vegetables, it's about setting them up for success from the very first day. Tomatoes, heavy feeders that demand a rich foundation. Tomatoes are the pride of many gardens, but they are also notorious for exposing poor soil practices. A tomato plant doesn't just sip nutrients, it devours them. The plant's massive root system and fast growth rate pull nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium from the soil at astonishing speeds. Without preparation, this leaves your plant starving before the first flower even sets. The key to tomato success is building a deep, fertile bed rich in organic matter. Compost is non-negotiable here, but it needs to be paired with calcium-rich amendments like crushed eggshells or gypsum to prevent blossom end rot. Equally important is ensuring loose, well-aerated soil. Compaction suffocates tomato roots, limiting both nutrient uptake and water absorption. A raised bed with a blend of compost loam and aged manure creates the ideal environment. Think of it as creating a nutrient bank that your tomatoes will steadily withdraw from over months of growth. Skipping this preparation leaves you with pale vines, weak fruiting, and plants vulnerable to every disease that comes along. Carrots root crops need flawless soil texture. Few things frustrate gardeners more than pulling up forked, stubby carrots when they were hoping for long, straight, market-quality roots. The culprit almost always lies beneath the surface. Carrots require a soil that is soft, deep, and completely free of stones or hard clumps. Their taproots must be able to push down unhindered. When they hit resistance, they fork or twist, wasting their energy. Preparing soil for carrots means focusing on structure rather than fertility. Too much nitrogen, especially from fresh manure, can deform roots. Instead, the emphasis should be on loosening soil to a depth of at least 12 inches. Mixing in sand or sifted compost helps create a fine, crumbly texture that roots glide through. Raised beds are particularly effective for carrots because they prevent waterlogging and allow precision control over soil makeup. Skip this prep, and you'll spend an entire season nurturing greens that hide disappointing roots beneath the soil. Potatoes' loose soil and balanced nutrition prevent disease. Potatoes seem rugged, but they are surprisingly sensitive to soil conditions. Hard, compacted ground leads to small tubers that struggle to expand, while overly wet soil encourages rot and scab. Proper preparation means creating a soil that drains freely yet holds enough moisture for steady growth. The best approach is to work compost or well-rotted manure deeply into the bed months before planting. This not only provides balanced nutrition but also improves soil structure. Light, sandy soils are ideal, but even clay-heavy soils can be improved with generous organic matter. Another key detail is avoiding overly acidic or alkaline conditions. Potatoes thrive in slightly acidic soil, around pH 5.5 to 6.5, which naturally discourages scab. Without this preparation, yields shrink, diseases take hold, and your harvest never reaches its full potential. Lettuce and leafy greens, nutrient-rich soil for continuous harvest. Lettuce, spinach, and other leafy greens appear simple to grow, but they demand fertile, moisture-retentive soil to deliver a steady supply of crisp leaves. Because they are harvested continuously, these crops place constant pressure on the soil's nutrient reserves. They can't survive long on depleted beds. So, when we talk about soil preparation here, what we really mean is making sure there's a steady stream of available nitrogen. Leafy greens just thrive when you mix compost, worm castings, or organic fertilizers right into the top 6 inches of soil before you plant. And, they also need soil that holds onto moisture consistently but doesn't get waterlogged. Amending with composted leaves, coconut coir, or peat really helps maintain that delicate balance. If you skip the prep, well, instead of those lush, abundant harvests, you'll probably end up with bitter-tasting, prematurely bolting greens that just wither under stress. Proper soil preparation honestly transforms a few meager salads into a season-long supply of fresh, tender leaves. Corn, the ultimate test of soil fertility. Corn has been called the greedy crop for good reason. Its towering stalks and heavy cobs need more nutrients and water than almost any other garden plant out there. Planting corn in unprepared soil is, honestly, an exercise in disappointment. Without fertility and structure, stalks just stay stunted, ears don't fill, and the crop collapses under drought or disease. So preparing soil for corn begins with a heavy dose of compost or well-rotted manure, ideally added in the fall before spring planting. Corn needs deep soil that drains well but, still holds enough moisture to sustain that rapid summer growth. Nitrogen is especially critical, so green manures like clover or vetch can be tilled in to boost reserves. Rows should also be planted in blocks to encourage pollination, but without rich, well-prepared soil, even that effort won't deliver. Corn really rewards the gardener who invests in the soil up front and honestly punishes those who cut corners. When you examine these 5 crops side by side, tomatoes, carrots, potatoes, leafy greens, and corn, a pattern emerges. Each one reveals a different soil weakness. Tomatoes expose poor fertility, carrots expose bad structure, potatoes reveal imbalance and drainage problems, lettuce uncovers shallow nutrition, corn punishes any lack of depth and richness. They're not just crops, but in a way soil tests in disguise. The lesson is simple but powerful. Gardening success does not start with the seed packet. It starts with the soil. Preparation determines whether those seeds can grow into the thriving plants you envision. Compost, organic matter, aeration, drainage, and pH balance are not luxuries but essentials. Soil preparation is not glamorous work. It doesn't give the instant satisfaction of sowing seeds or harvesting fruits. But it is the single most decisive factor in whether your garden thrives or fails. Tomatoes, carrots, potatoes, lettuce, and corn demand attention to detail, and they repay that attention with abundant harvests. These crops teach us discipline. They remind us that the most important gardening happens before the first seed is ever planted. For serious gardeners, that truth should be empowering. It means your success isn't left to chance or luck. It's built step by step, shovel by shovel, amendment by amendment. If you're ready to grow these demanding crops, invest the time now in preparing your soil. The reward will not just be healthier plants, but a garden that gets stronger and more resilient with every passing season. If you found this guide useful and want to keep exploring practical, science-backed ways to make your garden thrive, make sure you subscribe to Soil and Crop Doctor and share this video with fellow gardeners. Together we can build gardens that aren't just productive for one season but fertile and abundant for years to come.